How's it going, everyone? James Lynch here for Odds Checker US, doing my breakdown of Saturday night's lightweight unification title bout between champion Khabib Nurmagomedov and interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje, which is going to headline UFC 254, which is going to be taking place on Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. And this is going to be one of the fights of the year. Such an intriguing matchup. Right now on most books, you can get Khabib Nurmagomedov for about a 3-1 to almost 4-1 favorite here. And I tend to agree with the line here in terms of what Khabib brings to the table in this fight. So he's undefeated. We know that. Height and reach wise, he's pretty similar to Justin Gaethje. Khabib Nurmagomedov comes into this fight 32 years old, 5'10" with the 70-inch reach. Justin Gaethje, 5'11" with the 70-inch reach, so very similar. He's also only 31 years old, so physically very similar. Now Nurmagomedov, we know he's got really good grappling. That's what he's been able to do to most of his opponents. Really impose his will and sort of do what he wants in his last couple fights. We saw that against Dustin Poirier in his last outing, which by the way was over a year ago. So we'll see if the layoff does impact Khabib heading into this fight. The other tidbit in this fight, obviously, Nurmagomedov losing his longtime father, his longtime coach. So we'll see if that has a positive or negative impact in this matchup on Saturday, but very intriguing nonetheless. Of course, Justin Gaethje coming off that huge win over Tony Ferguson earlier this year, where he just dominated Ferguson and snapped his 12-fight win streak. Gaethje has looked unstoppable since losing to Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez a few years ago. He's really improved things heading into this fight on a 3-fight win streak, and like I mentioned, is the interim champion. The big question in this fight is a couple things. First, we haven't seen Justin Gaethje use his wrestling in his fights. Can he stop the takedown from Khabib Nurmagomedov? Gaethje is a former NCAA Division I wrestler, but like I said, we have not seen that in his fights. He's turned into a striker. We've seen this guy knock out a lot of opponents, so it'll be really interesting to see if Khabib's able to take this to the ground. If he can, it'll be very interesting because Gaethje's got a pretty solid ground game. We don't see it that often, but he's very well versed there. And Gaethje comes from one of the best coaches in MMA, and Trevor Whitman, so I'm sure their game plan is going to be on point. As far as Khabib goes, we've seen the stand-up improve in his last couple fights. That match against McGregor a few years ago, we saw him drop Conor McGregor. So if this stays standing, it could get very interesting. I would give the slight edge to Justin Gaethje if it does stay standing, but Khabib Nurmagomedov, like I said, the striking has improved leaps and bounds over the last couple of years, and that's what makes this fight so interesting. So where am I going in this one? I have to go with the champ, Khabib Nurmagomedov, the current champ. I just, based off the fact that we haven't seen what type of wrestling Justin Gaethje can bring to the table in this fight. Look, it's great that he has that on his resume, being a former NCAA Division I standout, but we just have not seen that in the cage, and I have no idea if that's going to be enough against a guy in Khabib Nurmagomedov, who, like I said, the grappling is just levels above everyone else, and I don't see this being an easy, dominant fight for Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think he's going to have his challenges in this fight, but I do see him either getting a late finish, maybe like a 4th or 5th round submission win, where Gaethje in the later rounds maybe getting tired by taking down and getting thrown against the cage, or it might end up going the distance. I know that's crazy. I know Khabib's been finishing his last couple fights, but with how durable and how smart Gaethje is, this isn't a guy who's going to go out there and fight reckless. He's going to fight very technical right to the final bell. And people who have questions about Gaethje's cardio, I mean, he did get a late finish over Ferguson in his last fight, which I think sort of silenced those critics, and the fact that he's training in Colorado at elevation, I think, helps him out as well. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who are you picking this Saturday for the lightweight unification bout? Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lynch on Sports. Make sure you subscribe to the Odds Checker US YouTube channel, where you're going to find my breakdowns every single week, along with some of my interviews. I did interview Sam Alvey for this card, so you can check that out here or there as well. I'm James Lynch, and I'll see you next week.